Welcome, friends, to another episode of Dan Tremblay Music. Today, we talk about piano. We talk about playing improvisational piano. I've been so bad at so many things my entire life, and I have failed so many times. Like everyone, you're going to fail way more than you're ever going to succeed. One thing that I have not failed at least I don't think, is playing piano. It's something that I've been able to do for a long time, something I'm very comfortable doing, and particularly improvising on piano. Now, why have I become fairly decent at improvising piano? Well, I think because I didn't have the chops to be, a classical performer, nor the desire. I was never very good at sight reading, reading a song for the first time. So I think that's probably what fed my desire to want to improvise on the piano. So today we're going to just do a little quick run through of my approach to improvising on the piano. Let's get to it. Okay, so probably the key thing, and you can hear me say this a whole bunch of times, keep it very, very simple. So start with a chord progression, couple of chords. We're going to take C and we're going to take F, in a major key. Okay, so those chords can be played in their root position. So I'm playing C in a root position. So that's the C on the bottom. Okay, there's the F in the root position, or a good inversion to go from C to F, but you keep your thumb on the C. And then 9 times out of 10 on the left hand, I'm playing octaves with a fifth in the middle. So it's kind of like a power chord on guitar. Okay, keep it very simple. If you have a way to record what you're doing and what you're practicing, like with a loop machine or a computer or whatever, cell phone, but if you can, GarageBand, whatever, if you have something that you can record and create some kind of backing track, that's going to help a lot. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. We're just going to go back and forth between C and F. We're going to record kind of a backing track, and then we're going to play some improv over top, okay, as opposed to trying to do it all at once. Here we go. Okay, so now we have kind of just a basic going back and forth between a C and an F, but we've gotten the chords down, so now we can just focus on the right hand improvisation separately as opposed to trying to think of it all at once. So let's play that back. And for right hand, we're literally just going to do C major scale. C to C. That's it. Okay, we're just going to stick to like a 1 octave C scale. And keep it very simple. Pick like 2-3 notes to start off with. So that's a really good hand position to be. I'm in a 5-finger position from C to G. Okay, and I'm not moving my hand. And then you're just kind of playing a couple notes. Really listen. What is improvisation? You're trying to create kind of on-the-spot melodies. You're creating notes that are not written. That's what improvisation is. You'll be able to sit down without any music and just play. And this is something that I enjoy far more. And obviously I know how to read music, but for me, this is a lot more fun. So you get your backing track, you go, and then as you start to feel more comfortable, we're going to expand up that scale. simple. Okay. Then we have this thing called modes. Okay, what are modes? Mode is like a major scale. Okay, so say we're in the key of C. We're doing C on piano because it's very, very simple. There's no sharps or flats to worry about. A mode is that same scale, but just starting on a different key. So we can start on D, E, F, G, A, B. Okay, it's all the same notes of the C scale. We're just moving it up. That's all modes are. Some people get very confused by modes. It's just taking the same notes and starting on a different key. Okay, so depending on how much theory you know, at the very basics, it would be good to know that every major has a relative minor. Okay, and if you want to try to find it, you just go down 1, 2, 3 little keys. And there is our relative minor, okay? So I'm going to play, now I'm going to focus on the A natural minor scale, okay? All the same notes, they're still white keys over top of the same chord progression. And hear how different that sounds. Okay, so now you've taken like a major chord progression and you've put a minor, natural minor. Works very, very well. It sounds just a little bit different, just to make something a little more interesting. So I would highly recommend having some kind of way of recording, either through GarageBand or whatever. There's like 1,000 different programs you can get. Have like kind of like a chord progression, very, very simple, 1, 2, maybe 3 chords. Record it, and then just leave your left hand out of it and just focus on the right hand. Keep it very simple. Then as you become more comfortable or more familiar, and you've been practicing, then you can start to kind of throw it all together. Throw a third chord in there. Sounds fancy, but at its very basics, it's like I'm not thinking of it at the same time. I'm playing chord, left hand chord. Again, do something with the right hand. Left hand chord, something with the right hand. So even though you're seemingly playing it at the same time, and it seems like a hands together kind of a thing, I still think of it differently. Probably 99% of the time I'm hitting that chord in the left hand first. It's kind of like set it and forget it. Play that chord, okay. And then as you become more comfortable, then you can kind of mess around with the rhythm, okay? That third chord that I added is a minor sixth. So we go from C major, F major, A minor. Ooh, very, very common chord. One of my favorite chord progressions. Then you go back down to the F. I went through that a little bit fast. Let's try it again. C, F, A, and back to F. Fantastic chord progression. You can do so much with it. go on and on and on. So generally, I'll stick to kind of 2 or 3 chords. Keep it very, very simple. That's my improvisational style. The great jazz musicians that are just chords everywhere. Go check out Oscar Peterson and just bow to the great master. That's not me. Yeah, I'm not. I hate to break it to all you people, but I'm not Oscar Peterson. I'll never be Oscar Peterson. Love Oscar Peterson, but for me, I gotta stick to a kind of a simpler style, and most of the time, that's what I'm doing: a major scale, natural minor, and sticking to 2, 3, 4 chords, and kind of playing around with that, and just let the music speak. Space is a key thing when you're trying to improvise. The space in between the notes, I cannot emphasize how important that is. If it's just notes everywhere, yikes. It's like, just take a breath. It's like you're having a conversation. Or that's like a run-on sentence. That's not giving the person a chance to respond. Play a few notes, take a break, do it again. As you can see, there's a ton of space in there. Space in between the notes is what makes it great. Okay, and it does 2 things. It gives the listener a chance to kind of absorb everything, so they just don't have all these notes thrown at them. And it gives the performer a chance to think, well, what's the next thing that I'm going to play? Unless you're like Stevie Ray Vaughan, which was just like, it just flowed out of him endlessly. Most people do not have that, natural born gift where it's an endless stream. You just hit record and it just goes. Most of us have to kind of play something and think, okay, where am I going with this? So space in between, very, very important. So there you go. Keep it very, very simple. Learn your scales, your major and your minor. Start with a few notes. Do it separately. If you can record a chord progression separately over top, leave the left hand out and focus on the right hand. That's going to be the best way to really be able to improvise. And probably the most important, I talk about this all the time, is listen to a ton of great improvisation artists. For me, I tend to go to blues. So the Stevie Ray Vaughan, the Hendrix, and B.B. King, and Clapton. On the piano side, you're going to find very few improvisers as good as Bruce Hornsby. Dude is just like a master at improvising on the piano. He can just go and go and go. So the piano side, and then of course the classics like I said, Oscar Peterson. Although listening to Oscar Peterson, you're going to get frustrated very quickly because it's so fast and it's just so hard to play along with. The guy was just incredible. If you don't know Oscar Peterson, the music of Oscar Peterson, go listen to it right now. Listen to Night Train. Listen to C Jam Blues. Listen to what you can do with just... Oh, I played it wrong. See what you can do with just those couple of notes and check it out. There you go. Go improvise and play and have fun. Final thoughts. Keep it simple. I can't say that enough. Keep your approach to whatever you're improvising, whatever song, whatever style, keep it very, very simple. Less is more. Start with 2 or 3 or 4 notes. Start with just right hand, improvising, repeating ideas. And then when you're comfortable, then get some left hand in there, get some chords, get some comping in there, and just fit those left hand chords in there wherever you can, wherever it feels natural. And you'll find that your hands start to work together. You get a little more coordinated. So it's almost like you're playing both hands at the same time, but you're still approaching it slightly different. A little bit of right improv, a little bit of left comping with the chords, and eventually you'll get your rhythm and your feel. If you can record your performances, if you can create some backing tracks that you can play to or play with other backing tracks, Conservatory Canada's got a great setup for that with the Christopher Norton Etudes series, playing with backing tracks, and that makes a huge difference because you're going to learn so much by listening to other musicians. And that gets me to my final point. Listen to as much music as you can by other artists who improvise. I think most of my listening from improvisational approach through piano has actually been through listening to guitar players, listening to blues guitarists, B.B. King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, the late great Jeff Healey, Colin James, Albert King, Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, you name it. It's all improvised. You know, they start with kind of the basic chord structure, Prince, and they expand from there. So most of my improvisation, as strange as that might be, is from listening to guitarists improvise and me kind of copying and playing it on piano. Why? Because I can play a little bit of guitar, as we know from previous videos. I dabble. I like to dabble, and I am getting better, and I'm working hard at it and practicing. But, you know, I've been playing piano since I was, 6. So, whole lot of decades. So go out and have some fun, record yourself, try mixing some stuff down, throw some stuff in GarageBand, Logic, wherever, multi-track, and just have fun with it. There you go. We'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.